हॅलो. शिंदे मॅडम, आता कोणाकडे आहे रीड बायोट?
Sir, roll number 21.
प्लीज स्टार्ट कर.
Yes, sir. Good afternoon to one and all present here. I, Dr. Richa Rao, roll number 21, on behalf of Dr. Baba Sahab Ambedkar Marathwada University, UGC HRDC Aurangabad, Maharashtra, 11th and 12th Faculty Induction Program from 22nd January to 27th February 2024. I would like to extend my warm welcome to all of you. It is our great pleasure and honor to introduce our today's speaker, Dr. Biju Sir, Assistant Professor in Department of Education. Presently, sir is working in a School of Education and Training Central University of Tamil Nadu. Sir did post-graduation in physics, M.Ed from Regional Institution of Education from Mysuru with first rank, and B.Ed in Moral and Spiritual Education from Ramakrishna Institute of Moral and Spiritual Education, Mysuru. Sir has started his career a higher secondary teacher in physics as a teacher education. Sir also worked as a manager, product development and alliances of NIIT, National Institute of Information and Technology, training manager of SMART. Sir has trained more than 5,000 school teachers across the country in various topics like assignment, assessment, 21st century education, prepared and handled classes in CTET, and a corporate trainer in soft skills. Sir has expertise in science education, ICT, educational research, and statistical analysis, curriculum design and development. Sir has contributed to different Swayam MOOCs. Sir has published so many national and international journals. Sir was master trainer for Microsoft and Intel. Sir also handled many sessions and workshops for NCERT, CIET, SIET, Kerala. Sir also handled sessions at all MRDCS of Kerala. Sir designed and conducted training at APJ Abdul Kalam Technical University, University of Calicut, Kannur University, and Sri Sankara University. With this brief introduction, I welcome you, sir. We feel privileged to have you, sir. Over to you, sir.
Thank you. So, very good afternoon, everyone. And let me thank MMTTC staff, director, and especially Rafe sir to give me an opportunity to interact with the fellow beings across the country. And it's a great privilege to interact with you people. So within not wasting any time, let us move to the topic. So let me share the screen so that you will be able to. Yes. So I hope you are able to see the screen.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
So if you have any problem in between, or if you would like to interact in any point of time, you may please put it in the chat box, or you can unmute and talk. So let us make it more interactive as much as possible. So we will be discussing on open educational resources, how to create, how to share, and how to use. Because I could understand that you might have heard about open educational resources. It may not be something new for you, but let us see what new thing we can get from this. So before starting with OER, there is one important point, which is nothing but the learning resource. So as faculty in higher education, we know that there are lots of changes, structural reforms happening in the field which we are working. Now, NEP 2020 the policy of this millennium has given us clear-cut ideas about how exactly the education is going to happen. And it's a great visionary document which talks about even 2030 and even 2045. So as the stakeholders of education, through whom this policy can get implemented, we are all the bearers, we are all the practitioners. So we should get the essence of NEP 2020. And if you visit UGC website, after NEP 2020, you can see that there are almost 16 to 18 documents published in the website where it talks about different concerns, giving different guidelines. Even you may remember about the blended learning guidelines. Recently, we have got the National Credit Framework. On research, there are documents. On outcome-based education, curriculum frameworks are available. So let us make it a habit that we go through these documents and understand how exactly we can contribute in the implementation of NEP 2020, thus contributing towards the nation building and nation development. So when we are trying to contribute, each one of you feel that yes, we are all contributing in whatever way we are able to. Because we are guiding a large group of students who are the future of our nation. But the question is, how are we guiding them? Are they really happy? Are we able to guide them to our satisfaction level? So there are different questions. Now, when you want to answer all these questions, ultimately the question is, are we really happy, or are we comfortable, or are we satisfied what we are doing? Our focus is on teaching learning, and all of us are putting all the best efforts because we know we are dealing with the students. We are dealing with human beings. So if we want to improve our level of satisfaction, and if we want to enjoy what we are doing, because most of the time teachers do complain that, sir, every time we are doing the same thing but in a different way. So some faculty members feel that, oh, it's tiresome, it's boring. So if you feel that, then I would say we have certain options to make it joyful. You heard about making the learning joyful, but that concept we can take in our profession also. We can make our profession more joyful by bringing different components, by attempting different ways with which we can become comfortable. So one of the way is dealing with the learning resources. Now, when the entire country went on lockdown, suddenly we got the compulsion that all of us need to switch over to the online teaching learning. In the beginning, we have struggled, but right now, I feel that yes, all of us are in an average level of comfort that yes, we are able to use technology. All of us might have created different content, different types of resources, at least some videos, some audios, because we were using different platforms wherein these kind of resources, this kind of material only will be able to provide to the students, reaching to the students, engaging the students was the major task. Now what can we do? You might have already developed the resources, different types of resources for the paper or the course that you are handling. Now we have an opportunity to reuse it. Maybe the PowerPoints that you have created, the video that you have created, it is with you and you can use even in the next semester, So we have the opportunity to reuse. Now, when you are working on improving, developing these kind of resources, let us have a thought on what is a learning resource. Earlier, we were using the word like teaching aids, learning aids, teaching learning material, TLM. Now we know that we have moved away from teaching. Now we are focusing more on learning. More precisely, even NEP stress upon, we need to have a learner-centric approach. And what is the role we have right now? We are teachers, but what is the role we have right now in our classrooms? Some of us, while doing our schooling, we have learned some subjects just because of obedience. We never try to ask questions to the teachers. But right now we know our students are entirely different. The exposure, what they have, the experiences, what they are getting every now and then, and the aspiration, all these are different. Earlier, when we were in school, we were focusing, okay, at least I can become a teacher. With that, we were satisfied. Now our students are looking abroad, getting good professions, getting into great professions. Not only that, our students, they come up with the startups. They try out different learning what they are getting during their graduation or post-graduation. That's why UGC emphasizes on outcome-based education. So now we have to work towards that, supporting our students to achieve those outcomes which makes the student competent enough in today's world where we feel that AI, artificial intelligence, is going to dominate. I don't have that confusion. I would say our students are going to dominate, but the kind of domination would be different. So what is a learning resource? Any resource that is available right now in our hand is a learning resource which supports learning. And it need not be always available with you. Some of you may feel that, yes, I go to the classroom. The students are very energetic. They are very enthusiastic. They bring their own concerns to the classroom. They bring certain doubts to the classroom. And that doubts itself or themselves become the resource for learning. Even the facial expression of the students, if you are keenly watching, that itself can become a resource. Or in a simple way, you may ask a student to get the bangle if you want to show a circle. Students are becoming resources. You may have role play, skit in the classroom. Group discussion is there in the classroom. So they all here, students are the participants though, so they become a resource. So anything that support learning, which is either readily available or likely to be available, because we started talking about context-based learning. So in that particular context, whatever is available, some of us will be able to use them as the resource. Now, what are the different types of resources we have in our classroom? we have these 6 types of resources in our classroom. We use it. We are very good in using textual resources. Earlier, we were more focused on writing, typing. After writing, you can scan it. Now, some of you might have started talking and converting that into text. That is also possible now. I need not type. So, textual resources, all of us are familiar. But after keep on using the text, we have realized that instead of having a 10-page or 15-page resource, I can bring all those critical points, significant points into an image which may fill into a single page, and the students are also finding easy to use those kind of resources. So we use images nowadays in terms of photographs, in terms of screenshots, in terms of maybe the different types of mapping. So we are happy to use images. From those static images, we realize that if there are motion, then it would be better even at higher education. Students are feeling easy to capture those content. So slowly we started creating videos. So all of us are having the best mobile with us. And these mobiles helps us to produce images and videos and even text. Another type of resource is animation. I don't know how many of us use animation in our classroom. The response will be very less. Yes, we use. Why? The reason I would say, sir, we don't know how to prepare animation. Hence, we are using very less animations in the classroom. If you know how to create an animation, sometimes you will be using it. Because there are certain type of content which require animation. There are certain complex concepts which you may not be able to convert as a video. And if you are interested to prepare animation, I would say you can go for a particular application called Stop Motion. Stop Motion is an application which helps you. I will type it in the chat box. Stop Motion is an application helps you to create animations. Now, have you heard about simulation? Some of you might have experienced simulation, or some of you might have gone for driving classes recently. So when you go for driving classes, some of the driving schools, they give simulated experience. They will tell you that, okay, you can go to that particular cabin and you can work on that, wherein you will get the same experience, but in a virtual environment. Now, the same thing can be applied in our classroom. The similar ideas can be brought into our classroom, and our students will be having a different kind of experience, which help them to understand the concepts better. But we don't use simulation. Why? We don't know how to create simulations. That's why we are not using. So if you are really interested to use simulations, you can use this particular application, which is called PhET, which is developed by Colorado University. They are free to use. Now, another kind of resource is Applet. I don't know whether you have come across the term Applet. Applet is nothing but ready-made interactive content, which is readily available. So, for example, if there are science faculties or maybe physics faculty, they know that, or all of us might have studied in lower class. When an electron enters into a magnetic field, what happens to that electron? When it enters to an electric field, what happens? Right? Some of us may be remembering. Or what happens when you change the lenses? What happens to the image? Or at least you may remember, all of us have learned what is the sum of the three angles in a triangle. What is the sum of the three angles in a triangle? It is 180 degree. Now we have learned that, but a student raises a doubt. What is the doubt? If the triangle is as big as the building, maybe 2-storied or 3-storied building, if there is a triangle as big as a building, will the sum be equal to 180 degree? Now, some of you might also thought the same. How can they think that? They can think that because their thought is, if the size of the triangle increases, the angle measurement also may increase. Hence, it may go beyond 180. Now, as a teacher, what should I do? The student raised a question. And most of the teachers, what they are going to say that it is true. If you take any triangle, when you add the three angles, it will be 180. But the student is not getting convinced. So how the teacher can address that? That is where this kind of interactive content helps us. You have lots of applications like GeoGebra. If needed, I will put it in the chat box. GeoGebra is one application which allows you to create sketches. And if you are really interested to create interactive content, H5P is another application, helps you to create interactive content. Now, how exactly it works? In GeoGebra, you can construct a triangle, and by just selecting one of the vertex, and if you drag it, you can keep on creating n number of triangles. In a classroom, I may be able to provide 4 or 5 diagrams within 40 minutes or 1 hour. Whereas this GeoGebra, within 2 minutes, you can have hundreds of triangles which allow the students to verify, analyze, observe. So these interactive contents are also there. Interactive resources are also available. You can search for applets in Google. If you know Java, using Java, you can create the applet easily. So these are all the different types of resources that we use in our teaching learning. Now, if you are not sleeping, let me ask a question. Is there any resource which is missing from the list? How do you feel? Is there any resource that is missing? Which generally you people use? There is one missing. There is one more resource which is missing. But generally, most of us never consider it as a resource. So I have so what you can just a second. So one of the resource which is missing from the list is audio resource. But generally, we never consider audio as a resource. Audio is a very powerful resource. Some of you might have created podcast. I don't know whether you are familiar with that. I'll type it in the chat box. Podcast, or even using your mobile, you can record your own lecture. And if you know a software called Audacity, you can edit your audios. Or if you want your podcast in the websites, you can use anchor.fm, where you can record your audio lessons, and that can be shared through Spotify also. I know I feel that yes, most of you are familiar with Spotify. So Spotify is not only to share the songs and all, even the podcast can be shared. Audio lessons, maybe for 2 minutes, 3 minutes. So all these are the different types of resources. Now, the question is whether a teacher himself or herself need to create all these resources. I am not here to say that. If time permits, if you have the skill, you can go ahead in creating resources in all these forms. But those who are not able to do that, but willing to use these kind of resources, we may be depending on YouTube, or we may be depending on some other websites. Generally, we say you Google it. So when you Google it, you will get different types of resources. You can either download and use in your classroom. That's what we generally do. You might have uploaded in your Google Classroom. But before downloading, let us look at the resource. Then there is one point which either we ignore, or we avoid, or we don't know, we are not aware of, is nothing but the copyright. The copyright. Now, we know what is a copyright. Copyright talks about all rights reserved with the author or the publisher. And what is all rights reserved says? Any part or complete of this material cannot be reproduced in any form without prior written permission. That means most of the resources which are available in the internet, we are not free to use them. That is one of the challenges that we are facing. So if you are facing that kind of challenge, then I would say nothing to worry. We have something called OER, Open Educational Resources. And what is it? It is Open Educational Resources. And if those who have not heard about this, or those who have already using this kind of material, we generally feel that it is something very secret, or it is something very private. No. The concept of OER, the movement of OER, I would say like that better. The movement of OER has been started long back, almost 22 years back. UNESCO has a convention in 2002, and wherein the concept of OER was presented for the first time. Why I have brought it? This is a global movement. And in 2002 Paris meeting, there was some declaration from UNESCO as an international organization. It recommended foster awareness and use of OER, encourage research on OER, foster strategic alliances of OER, facilitate funding, finding, retrieving, and sharing of OER, and encourage the open licensing. It is completely against our proprietary or copyright. So hence, if you have not yet started either using or creating, let us start today itself, because you might have created n number of PowerPoints. And some of you might have told that this is my copyright. This PowerPoint is being created by me. Hence, the copyright is with me. Now, when you say that, when you say this is my copyright, utility of that particular PowerPoint will be less or restricted. Without your permission, others cannot use it. That is where UNESCO suggests, let us encourage open licensing. During your college days, you might have used Wikipedia. Wikipedia for referencing, taking content, preparing projects, assignments. But we never thought whether Wikipedia is free to use. At that time, Wikipedia was under General Public License, GPL, which allowed all of us to use the entire content freely. Now, if you visit Wikipedia, you cannot see it is a GPL. It's not a GPL now. It's not General Public License. But a word you can see, Wikipedia follows Creative Commons Share Alike license. That we will discuss a bit later. So what UNESCO talks about OER, UNESCO says that any material, whether it is useful for teaching, learning, doing research, if it is available either online or in the hard format, which reside in the public domain, it is an OER. What is public domain? That also I may have to remind you. Are you bothered about, are you aware of public domain? Almost all the social media networks are in public domain. What is the problem with that? Anything which is available in the public domain, anyone else can use it, reuse it, misuse it, abuse it. This is what the problem with public domain. For example, you may have a Facebook account. You may upload your own high definition photograph in Facebook. Anyone else can access that, take that photograph. They can use, reuse, abuse, misuse, everything can be done. Why? Facebook is in public domain. Your WhatsApp, your LinkedIn. So now, if you have the resources in the public domain, you may have a doubt. No, these are all free. How will I make sure that this is authentic? Which we were thinking maybe 10 years back. If I want to use content from Wikipedia, teachers never encouraged. Why? Because they used to say that, no, today you may see some material, tomorrow you may see another material instead of the old material. Anyone can edit. That was the possibility. So either in the public domain or what UNESCO says, the material which are released under an open license. This open license can have restriction or cannot have restriction. There are open licenses with some restriction and without any restriction. So this is what UNESCO definition. And what UNESCO says, the entire philosophy of open education resources is being supported by the thinking, the right of everyone to education. Every individual has got the right of education, right to education. When you may remember, India is one of the country who has got the Right to Education Act, who made the education as a fundamental right. Hence, we have to assure that everybody is able to get, even constitutional provision, you may remember. Everybody is having a right to have quality education. A student who is sitting maybe in a remote village of Tamil Nadu may not be able to access a quality content, quality education. They may not be able to move away from their location. So hence, they are lacking a quality education. This is the reality in India. That is where India suggested that we will have a SWAYAM platform. Through a common platform, the quality content, quality education, quality courses can reach to entire population. So we are trying. So hence, we have to know more about this OER. And it talks, this document, you can refer what UNESCO has published. But what UNESCO recommended, one, it recommends the capacity building. And through this session, at least you are going to have some awareness on OER. And it also suggests to develop supportive policies. OER need to have certain policy. Otherwise, any of the copyright law says, suppose when you are preparing a video or a PowerPoint, you are not mentioning that this is my private resource. Even if you are not mentioning that, by default, the copyright goes to the author. There is a copyright. So hence, what should we do? When we create certain content, certain resources, better to mention what is the license for that particular material. And in education, we need to follow an open license so that even the weakest section of the society can have the access towards quality content. So UNESCO has articulated different objectives. OECD, Organization for Economic Cooperation and Development, also suggested in the same fashion that these two definitions indicate that OER is a global trend. If you have not yet started exploring, if you have not yet started creating OER, then we will be having a lag compared to any other advancement in education. And this OER follows certain freedom. When I talk about freedom, you may get reminded about free and open source software. You know the difference between a proprietary software and a free software. I'll make it very clear. Recently, some of you might have bought a laptop. Earlier, when you buy a laptop, you will get a CD or a DVD along with the system. Now, you may not get it. What was there in the CD? It was there in the CD, the software. If anything goes wrong with your laptop software, you can use the DVD and reinstall. Now, what is the condition? Now, the condition is none of the companies are giving you the software. They say, even if you are getting a CD, they say that this is a recovery CD. recovering the damage. So that is where the open software movement started. And it gives you different freedom, and we will look into the different freedoms with this. So what makes an OER more unique? I would say these 5 R's: retain, redistribute, remix, revise, and reuse. There are 5 R's which makes a resource a unique OER. Let us see that. What are these? The first one is reuse. What is reuse? The right to use the content in the wide range of ways, like in a classroom, in a study group, in a website, in a video. Sir, that is what we are doing now also. What are we doing now? We download a research article. We download a YouTube video. We download certain content. Nowadays, we never go for cut, copy, paste because people are worried about the plagiarism. Similar to plagiarism, this is also important. If you have downloaded a research article or a video which has got a copyright, you are not supposed to share it with anyone. That is the rule. Or even you cannot use it and reuse it. So this is one of the R. The OER gives you the freedom of reuse, whereas copyright will never give you a freedom to revise or reuse. Reuse. And the second R is retaining. What is retaining? The right to make, own, and control copies of the content. So what actually we do? We use Google. We explore for certain content. You will get it downloaded. You can use in your laptop. You can store in your laptop. But please make sure the content that you have added to your laptop is free from copyright. You don't have a right to retain or download and store the copyrighted material into your system. Whereas this OER gives you a complete freedom to retain the copies, to download, to duplicate, to store, and manage. Next R is redistribute. You may remember olden days we used to copy from the pen drive or copy from the CD and share it to our known people or friends. You keep on forward the messages in WhatsApp. Similar to that. You are not supposed to redistribute the content. You have every freedom to redistribute the content in an OER. So when you announce that this PowerPoint is under open license, that can be redistributed. Give a copy of the content to a new friend. So the third R is redistribute. We have reuse, retain, redistribute. And the fourth R is the right to adapt, adjust, modify, or alter the content itself. Like some of the English or language students or language faculty might have taken up some literature work for translation. Can you translate a text which is being written by one of your friends? Now, unless and until the content is being mentioned as free to use, or free to alter or free to translate, you cannot do that. Suppose I want to translate a particular text from Hindi to English. I know the author. I have to write to the author and convince the author that yes, I am going to translate your text into English. Could you please provide me the permission? Whereas in OER, you have the freedom to revise. When you come across resources which are under open license, they are free to revise also. And the last one is remix. As teachers, what do? We collect content from different sources. You mix it together and convert it as a one essay type question and answer. But if the resources that you have used earlier, if they have the copyright, then you are not supposed to mix. You are not supposed to mix, or you are not supposed to combine the different original content and you prepare something new. So an OER has got 5 pillars, which are the strongest pillars. And whenever you get a content, you can always check whether this content is free to use, whether this content is modified to use. So this 5 R's actually helps as the checkpoint. Finally, act as the litmus point or litmus test material with which we can train your teachers, with which you can train your students. It's not only teachers who create content. Students also prepare the content in terms of assignments. So there also we should share this information that look, taking content from text 1, another content from text 2, another content from text 3, and you make it as a single document, then there is a challenge if those materials are copyright free. So these 5 R's, please remember. Now, when you talk about 5 R's, we can always think about Creative Commons. You might have heard the symbol CC. What is Creative Commons? It is a category of open licensing. What is the openness? Anyone can make use of that particular resource. So Creative Commons licenses, I'll just take you through the next. This Creative Commons license is actually a resistance towards copyright. You might have heard, you might have seen C written towards right open and put it in a circle. The left-hand side image. So what does it indicate? All rights reserved either to the publisher or the author. Without their permission, you cannot use. If they are not giving you the permission, you cannot use at all. Like what? There are certain journals which allows you to get the abstract. Right? So when you prepare an abstract, when you prepare a thesis, whose copyright it is? Either it is the copyright of the author or it goes to the university. Now, while doing the research, we say we are adapting the tools. Adapting the tool means what is the condition? You have to write to the author, get the permission to adapt. Whereas copyleft says all rights left to the user. Copyleft says all rights left to the user. That means users have the freedom to work with these kind of materials. Now, what are the different types of Creative Commons licenses? You can see there are 6 symbols, and the CC is common for all 6 symbols. So CC stands for Creative Commons. And what is there next? Next element is a human being sketch is there. Now in all the 6, you can see the human being data or picture is there. Now what does it indicate? As I told in copyright, it says every rights, all rights reserved. You have to get a written permission from the author. But in and what we say, to avoid plagiarism, we say we go for a proper citation. The citation is not known by the author. And what we do, we actually acknowledge the resource from where I have taken. This is what we do. So here in Creative Commons, even you can see there is a BY common to all 6. You have BY, BYNC, that will come later. So these 6 Creative Commons licenses, actually let us see what are they. But these symbols you might have seen in certain publications. There is a license called CC-BY, and this BY indicate the license is an attribution license. You may have every freedom to use the content, and those content can be made freely through any platform. So while sharing, you can always think of what kind of license we can have. So these 6 licenses will have an exploration. So the explanation in this slide, you can see there are around 7 licenses mentioned. 6 CC-BY license, and there is 1 license which is called public domain. So what are the concerns, or what are the benchmarks, or what are the checkpoints? Whether this particular license is allowing you to copy and publish for commercial use, modify and adapt, and also change license. So these are the 5 areas which we talk about. Now, a copyrighted material always put restrictions on all these 5. Copy and publish is not allowed. Attribution required. Commercial use. Modify and adapt. Change license. So what are these? The first one is public domain, where you can see you can copy and publish, you can commercially use it, you can modify and adapt, you can change the license also. Suppose I keep on searching in Google, I can keep on collecting the material. Now these materials are having copyright. Hence, I cannot share it to anyone. But even then what I can do, I can see that, okay, there are some free materials, I take it and then I write a paper and publish. So the 6th license, public domain, is giving you all the freedom, including You need not mention from whom you have got the material. Attribution is not required. So these are all the 6 licenses. One stands for CC/BY. That is the simplest form of open license. Then you have CC/ND. CC/ND. ND stands for no derivative. You need not change. You need not modify and adapt. You can use as such. But the CC/BY helps you to commercial use, allow you to modify and adapt, allow you to even change the license. I copied something from somewhere. Now, when I present, I can say that this is mine. This is my copyright. CC/BY is a very generic tool that can be used. The next one is CC/SA. SA stands for share alike. So CC/SA means, suppose I am getting a PowerPoint wherein it mentioned that CC/SA. I can modify that content. I can bring all sorts of changes, but I cannot change the license. So when you're following CC/SA, we also need to follow the same license. There is another CC/ND. ND stands for no derivative. You cannot create something new. Then CC/NC. CC/NC stands for no commercial. You cannot use it to create content. So NC will not give you the freedom to make the content for commercial purpose. NC/SA stands for, the 5th license is CC/NC/SA. There you can see the restrictions are more. What are the restrictions? One, you cannot use it for commercial purpose. SA is share alike. You cannot change the license. And the last one is CC/NC/ND. What is that? No commercial. Two restrictions are there. One is non-commercial, another is no derivative, which is almost equal to the copyright. But still, when I am putting CC/NC/ND in my slide, I am saying that you have every freedom to copy and publish, but you don't have the freedom to use commercially. You don't have the freedom to modify and adapt, but you have a freedom to change the license. So these are the 6 types of Creative Commons licenses. Now, if you have any doubts, you can ask me right now. I'll show you how to get these kind of materials from internet. But before that, we have to see little more about OER. Why I suddenly brought this? All OERs will be having these licenses. Every OER will be following any one of the license. So if you are developing a PowerPoint, and if you put a sentence stating that this PowerPoint is prepared, or this PowerPoint is shared with a Creative Commons share alike license, anyone, including your colleagues or students, can use that PowerPoint, But when they make some modification and give to somebody else, they have to follow the same license. So accordingly, we can select more appropriate OER to be used in our classroom. That's why I have shown it here. Now, this is again a different way of representing, where you can see the icon. When there is only a band at the center of the icon, it says that it is attribution CCBY. So like that, you have all these licenses. Now, having said about OER and this license, UNESCO recently shared a framework, a competency framework, which every teacher need to have, especially related to OER. The first one is becoming familiar with OER. It's a broader. So what a teacher should do? A teacher can have any one of the competence, like distinguish an OER from another resource, list some factors in the emergence of OER, consider a specific role in the OER movement. These would be a little high, but what UNESCO talks about, every teacher should be familiar with OER. Second competence is searching for OER. That's what I told I will show after this session. How to search the OER materials. And the second competence is another, searching for OER. So similarly, UNESCO talked about the other set of competencies, using OER, creating OER. Using OER and creating OER. So if you want to say that, yes, I am competent enough in this, you have to follow some of this. Then the last field is sharing OER. This is what more important. You as the subject matter expert will be in a position to bring out beautiful textbooks. Now what happens? There will be a copyright. So the fifth competence is sharing OER, and let us see what can we do. So it's not only preparing OER, it's not only sharing OER at the individual level. If we want to really support the OER movement, then we need to have certain policy at the institutional level. So for example, if you are working in a private institution, when you are going to publish a paper, what actually they say? They may say this is not your, you cannot go for an individual copyright. It should be given to the institution. So the possibility of exploring, the possibility of sharing, the possibility of creating OER at the individual level need to be supported by the institution with a policy. This is the simple thing. So what you can do, after this induction program, when you go back to your institute, have a discussion in the department and think of, can we develop a policy which talks about who is the real author, who is the real owner of knowledge. So every institute need to have a policy. And how will you decide whether you would like to develop an OER? Now, some of you may feel that, okay, it's not a bad idea. I will start an OER. But what is the intrication here? It says that the first point what you would have to think of, why do I need an instrument? Why do I need an OER in terms of a resource? Why do I need a software? You do a need analysis. Based on the need analysis, you go for your decision making. Suppose if you feel you would like to create something new based on your own course that you're offering. Now, what you can do, you instead of designing or preparing by yourself something new, you search for it. Do I have a free resource on this particular course or on this particular page or on this particular content? If it is existing, you need not prepare. If there are no OER available, then your question will have an answer that yes, now you can prepare a resource. Why? Because it is not available. Now, when you decide upon creating OER, how will you create? You need to know to whom you are preparing. You need to know in what format you are preparing. Because some of you might have joined UGC Swayam course. In UGC Swayam course, you know that it follows a weekly format. Every week, there are certain assignments or there are certain tasks to be completed. Whereas in our colleges or universities, we follow topic format or unit format. So if there is an OER available, then you are not going to prepare. If there is no OER available, then you can prepare. If there are existing OER, then you can think of what is the license it follows, what kind of materials they are using, what kind of resources they have. Is it a scheduled one or is it an open one? So this helps you to take a decision on whether to go for self or OER or self-prepared material or whether to go for already available material. Already available material you can free to use and upload in your own course platforms. Now you may ask a question. In UGC Academic Performance Index, you can see there is certain weightage for the e-content that you have developed. So similarly, I feel there should be a provision for the teachers to use existing OER. There should be an acknowledgement. Why? Because all existing OERs may not be directly useful in the classroom. A teacher may have to make some modifications like the culture, ethnicity. If the OER is already been developed in India, considering Indian students, then only thing you have to do that is you can prepare and you can adapt or modify. So while adapting or modifying, every faculty is doing certain work and that need to be acknowledged. Now moving ahead, how will you create? Suppose you feel that yes, we would like to create because there is no course available. Suppose I am offering a particular course and I have searched all possible platforms where no courses are available. Then I have decided, okay, I need to create. If you want to create, I can give you the options like Inkscape, LibreOffice, Open Author. These are some of the platforms which allows you to create OER. Even any of your gadgets, your desktop, your laptop, your mobile phone, all these are also helping. But as a course, see, using a mobile, what are we doing? We are creating a video, we are taking a photo. That is only the components of a course. So if you want to create a complete course in open licensing, then you can use Inkscape, LibreOffice, OpenAuthor. And if you don't want to create something new, then what you can do, you can collect the existing OER, go through that, then you can use it. I'll give another suggestions how to adapt it. And these are some of the links wherein you can find out the OERs. The different OERs can be, I will give you some of the link. OERcommons.org would be one very interesting website or a platform where you can get almost all different types of OERs. This I will share with sir, so that sir will be able to share with you. Now, how will you share it? Suppose you have got different material, resources that you have created. Where will I share? One is a press book. There is a press book consortium wherein you can create an account. You will get a space where you can upload all your content. WordPress. Sometimes some of you may have a blog using WordPress or Google. Blog is also a platform where you can share. Google Sites, Google Docs, or I don't know how many of you have a personal website. You can use Wix or Weebly platforms or even Google Sites. You can create your own website wherein you can upload all this material. Another is LibreText. Is another open source movement. Then OER Commons, as I told, OERcommons.org. There is a platform. Or any LMS like Canvas, Blackboard, Moodle, etc. So sharing is not a tough job. But how to use the existing OER? How to integrate the existing OER? For that, the suggestions are, the first suggestion is locate the OER. Where is it? Now, most of you may have a doubt, sir. All this you have told, but you just tell us where is from where I can get. So locating is one of the challenge. So first you try to locate. Find out where is an OER. Second step is you access the OER. Without accessing, blindly don't share the OER with your students. Why? One, it may not have all content. Second, the content might be represented in culturally specific way. What do you mean by that? Suppose I have got a OER developed in US. There may have different cultural practices, ethnic practices. The examples, case studies, all these included in the OER would be specific to US, which may not be applicable in India. So hence, while accessing, you have to go through the course and find out, I can customize some of the case studies. I can bring Indian scenario. That's why I told you have to access. Then you have to place it with your curriculum. So while analyzing itself or accessing itself, you will get an idea that what is the content coverage. Whether the content which is there in my course So how far it is covered in the OER? So once you feel that 90% of the content is being covered, then you look at the license. What license this particular OER provides? Now don't get confused. Here I am not bringing, because OER itself comes under open licensing. But you have seen in open licensing, you have 6 types of license. CC BY, CC BY SA, CC BY NC, CC BY ND, CC BY NCSA, CC BY NDS. Why? If it is CC BY, you have every freedom to modify. You have freedom to adapt. And then you can integrate. So these are the different steps that you can follow before deciding or before you integrate OER. Now let me show you some examples. Like for example, this particular website, whisk-online, it gives you different types of resources which are free, which are OER. They have animation, video, text. So whatever resource we were talking, the type of resources, most of the type of resources are available in Wisconsin University's OER repository. Now, another example is lumenlearning.com, wherein you can get a complete course. See, suppose you have to teach Indian democratic values or democratic values, for example, which goes for 6 hours or 7 hours. Now, instead of collecting materials from different places and sharing to students, you can come to Lumen Learning and click on the search. You can get a complete course related to democracy. So instead of sharing maybe 10 or 15 links to the students, if you can get one link from Lumen Learning, where your majority of the content are being exposed, better use it. So Lumen Learning is another website. There are lots of materials available. Another is oercommons.org. So you can create an account here. Then you can add OER. Or if you don't want to create an account in OER, you can go to see what are you looking for, what subject, what education level, what standard. All these are there. You can directly access even without creating an account. So oercommons.org is a wonderful platform where you can get OER materials. Suppose you are looking for textbooks which are free to use. You have a platform called openstacks.org. Openstacks.org is a platform wherein you get 100% peer-reviewed, openly licensed textbook. So for example, I need a textbook on sociology. You can get a complete textbook of sociology from this website. Psychology textbooks are there, maths books are there, lots of books are available which are peer-reviewed, openly licensed, and 100% free. So after seeing all these, if you are getting motivated to create this kind of content, then I would suggest you visit Khan Academy also. Why? Because this Khan Academy gives you different ideas for representing the content. You might have seen, if you go to Khan Academy website, only the writing on the board will be displayed as a video. What technology they use? They use a light board. You can also create a light board easily. So like that, you can get n number of innovative ideas to represent the content. That's why Khan Academy I have mentioned. Another is MIT. MIT courseware. Massachusetts Institute of Technology gives you MIT Open Courseware, ocw.mit.edu. Similar to MIT, Stanford is giving, Oxford is giving, UNESCO, all verticals of UNESCO is providing. So suppose you are interested towards OER, even very authentic OER. That's why I have presented all these, because sometimes you may feel that, sir, OER means anyone may prepare. How will I make sure that it is very authentic? Now you look at MIT, like prestigious institutions are having a repository. They are ready to share. Now, those who would like to have audio books, maybe visually challenged people, students, they would like to have audio-based. LibriVox is a very interesting platform where you can get the audiobooks which are free. Now, even I would suggest you can visit LibriVox, but my suggestion is, even we can also try to create these kind of audiobooks. It's very easy. Using your mobile, you can keep on recording your voice. You just take the textbook, you read it in a proper modulation, record it, cut it into small pieces and share. So all these are the possibilities even using OER. Another very interesting OER is oasis.col.org. COL stands for Commonwealth of Learning. It is a non-profit organization which works on different policies, research and all. And even about OER, you can get a beautiful material from COL. So they have created a repository platform where you can visit and explore the different content, and some of the contents are on CC BY. So like that, there are lots of, these are some of the references which I have used. There are lots of resources available across the cyberspace. And you can also create, once you explore, maybe my humble submission before you is that today itself, after the session, if possible, explore for some OER, go through that. Then you decide, do you want to create similar kind of OER? Maybe, I think UGC, HRDC or any other organization may take some initiative to support you people if you people are ready to create OER using some software. But before that, we need to have an awareness, an idea about what is an OER, understand what are the salient features of OER, how can certain content be qualified as an OER. So all these are there. So please keep reading, exploring, and wherever if you get some doubts, anyway, I'm going to share this particular PowerPoint with sir. Sir will be able to share with you. He can connect at any point of time for any kind of queries. So with that, I'll stop for the time being. And if you have any doubts, you may please put it in the chat box, or you can open your mic and talk. Thank you. Any questions if you have? Any questions, or people are waiting for the valedictory?
Sir, I think no questions. Yes.
So, sir, please share PPT for all or all website. Okay, that I'll share. I'll share the PPT, or even right now I can share those links. Even in the chat box, I'll share the references. All these references are OERs only. So maybe you can just copy those and put it somewhere in your Word document or notepad.
Excuse me, sir.
Yes.
सर हिंदी
Sorry.
सर हिंदी विषय से संबंधित जानकारी भी हम OER पे खोज सकते हैं क्योंकि मैं
हिंदी
हिंदी के
में
टीचर हूँ
OER कमी है मैडम, क्योंकि सी दीज OERs आर ग्लोबल OER. So आप हिंदी में चाहिए तो हिंदी people should start working.
ओके ओके जी
है ना?
जी
So I can share you one link for a software, exelearning.net. You can download this and install, and you can type it in Hindi.
ओके सर सर वो
In one Sanskrit university, what they have done, when we were taking these kind of sessions, they have asked the same question what you were asking. Sir, in Sanskrit, whether we have OER. The regional language OER may not be there, but what we have to do, whatever materials you have, you can convert that into OER easily.
okay.
But
Thank
we
you.
people need to start working.
Yes, sir. Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
So thank you, Dr. Biju, sir.
Thank you, sir.
Within a few minutes, we will start our valedictory function as discussed yesterday by you, with you, that we will have a valedictory session. In that, for a few minutes, you can give your keynote address. Just
Okay,
we
sir.
are waiting
Okay.
for our respected director, sir, Professor Satish Patil, sir, to join this cloud meeting.
Okay, sir.
Immediately
Okay,
after that, we will start, no issue, sir.
okay, fine,
Just
fine,
within few minutes, he will join.
fine, fine. Thank you. So let me thank every one of you for your patient listening. And my humble request is that some of these ideas, please use it in your professional tasks and even share to students. That is very important. Please give a small orientation about OER to students so that let them start using OER. We'll wait for maybe sir to join.
हमारे पास है कार। हेलो, हमारे पास इलेक्ट्रिक
Gaurav, you can start the banner and university song, please. A respected director sir has joined. Also, we have been joined by our chief guest, Dr. Biju.
गीत आमुचे आकाशाचे
गीत आमुचे सागराचे इतिहासाचे जनावनाचे गीत आमुचे जागराचे गीत आमुचे आकाशाचे गीत आमुचे सागराचे इतिहासाचे जनावनाचे गीत आमुचे जागराचे
अभंगाचे ओवीचेही माय बोलीचे माहेर
वाऱ्यातही मराठीचे दिवे लख घरोघर संत महंतांचे विरागी गीत आमुचे वादळाचे इतिहासाचे जनावराचे गीत आमुचे जागराचे तंतु तंतु संघर्षाचा पैठणीत भिनलेला
नक्षीतच पक्षी पक्षी विजयाचा विरलेला
सोन पहाट उदयाचे गीत आमुचे उजेडाचे इतिहासाचे जनावनाचे गीत आमुचे जागराचे प्रज्ञेचा सूर्य नवा शब्द शब्द उजळून गेला समतेचा संगराचा अर्थ ढाळून गेला विराट विशाल संस्कृतीचे गीत आमुचे जीवनाचे इतिहासाचे जनावराचे गीत आमुचे जागराचे गीत आमुचे आकाशाचे गीत आमुचे सागराचे इतिहासाचे जनावराचे गीत आमुचे जागराचे
Thank you, Gaurav. You can stop the university song and banner. On behalf of UGC Malviya Mission Teachers Training Center, and especially on behalf of this entire group, I welcome today's president of this valedictory function, Professor Satish Patil sir, Honorable Director of this UGC Malviya Mission Teachers Training Center. Also, I welcome today's chief guest of this function, keynote speaker, Dr. Biju from Central University of Tamil Nadu, a regular resource person to this UGC Malviya Mission Teachers Training Center. Indeed, it was really a nice journey of nearly 30 working days, 1.5 months of this 11th and 12th faculty induction program. Before going to this formal inaugural function or valedictory function, I would request all participants to start their cameras, please. A request to all participants to start their cameras so that we can have a glimpse of each and every one. It was really a nice journey of 30 working days, and nearly we had here 54 resource person who have delivered the talk. We have started a journey from Dr. Mrs. Aparna Ashtaputre. He delivered a talk on overall psychology, personality, parenting. Then also Shri Ambekar sir delivered a talk on American abstracts and expressions. Then Harish Kumar Agre sir delivered a talk on global problems and efforts pathway towards more sustainable future. Then Dr. Rupali Dilip Gaikwad delivered a talk on living sustainability in harmony with nature. Then Dr. Deshmukh Arvind Mahadev Rao, ex-professor and head department of microbiology of our university, he delivered a talk on biotechnology for survival of human being. Also, Dr. Mazhar Farooqi delivered a nice talk on NEP 2020. Then Dr. Dilip Khernar sir, Dr. Daya Patil madam, then Hemchandra Deshmukh sir delivered a talk on data management and data information presentation for research. Then Dr. Bharti Gore ma'am delivered a talk on feminism. Then Dr. Arun Chandore sir delivered a talk on plant diversity. Then Professor D.R. Pachade delivered a talk on research sky is the limit. Then Dr. Suhas Patak from Department of Education of our university delivered a talk on teaching in global scenario. Then Dr. Ashok Nimesh from Central University of Jharkhand. He has a very nice grip on the topic feminism. So he has delivered a talk on understanding sexual harassment theories and concepts. Then Dr. K. Viranjalayu from University Librarian of Central University of Hyderabad, NIT Varangal. He delivered a talk on e-resources and emerging research landscapes. Then Dr. Nitin Dharkonde sir delivered a talk on introduction to MOOC and SWEM NPTEL online course. Mrs. Sonar ma'am from Department of Statistics of our university delivered a talk on descriptive statistics. Then Dr. Anil Kulkarni sir, former principal HV Desai College Pune, delivered a nice talk on NEP 2020. Then Dr. Surej Gaikwad, Dr. RJ Chauhan sir delivered a talk. Also, Dr. R.E. Martin of our university delivered a talk. In between, Mr. Hiren Kakad, he delivered a talk on descriptive statistics. Also, Sharmila Ghuge ma'am delivered a talk, and R.G. Kothari sir delivered a talk. Then Professor Mahendra Shirsat sir delivered a talk on drafting of research proposal and funding opportunities. Then Dr. Kulkarni from sub-campus of our university delivered a talk on biotechnology. Then Dr. Ashok More sir delivered a talk on e-waste management. Then Suparna Deshmukh ma'am delivered a talk on biochemical effects of stress on human body and stress management. Also by Bapu Shingte sir, Vivek Mirgane sir, Ardapure sir, Sudhakar Shendge sir, Chaugle sir, all learned person having a vast experience in teaching and research. Also Professor Sunil Kulkarni. We were very fortunate that because of our honorable director, we got such a big person, Director Kendriya Hindi Sanstha Agra, Central Institute of Hindi from Ministry of Education, Professor Sunil Kulkarni delivered a talk to us. Also, Bhaskar Sate sir, also Dr. Devendra Singh, also he is a national convener of Prakalp Pratiyogi Pariksha, Shiksha Sanskrit Uthyanas, New Delhi. Again, we are very fortunate to witness him, and this course was concluded by Dr. Biju from Central University of Tamil Nadu. Also, the participant delivered or submitted their seminar, and also they have submitted their micro teaching. Then they have also submitted their what you will say, MRP and book review. So overall, we can take a lot of things from this faculty induction program. We are very fortunate now that from next year onwards, these courses will be in an offline mode. And I hope that you have got some things in your pocket that you will deliver to your colleagues, you will deliver to your students, you will deliver to your family. Being a faculty induction program, we have to take a lot of things from this. Being now we are very nearing in the halfway stage of implementation of National Education Policy 2020. So we were very fortunate that we have been as a participant in this faculty induction program, where we have got a lot of experts from national, international level to deliver a talk here. So I hope that there maybe some shortcomings that you can communicate it to me too personally, that we can overcome in the coming courses. Also, I would like to thank one of the participant, Dr. Sati Shinde ma'am. Regularly, she had reminding me for the biodatas and all those things. Even when I forgot many a times, late night she reminded me that you haven't posted the biodata. So we are really thankful to them because of overlapping of the courses. There was a very tight schedule in the month of January and February of this UGC Malviya Mission Teachers Training Center. Also, my thanks to other committee members who have collected MRP and book review, and many cooperation has been given to us by all the participants. So we are really thankful as a HRDC UGC Malviya Mission Teachers Training Center. So not taking much time, I would now request our chief guest, Dr. Biju sir, to deliver a valedictory address to all of us.
Thank you, sir. So respected Professor Satish Patil sir, Director UGC Malviya Mission Teacher Training Center, Baba Saheb Ambedkar Marathwada University, and the course coordinator, very cordial Dr. Muhammad Abdul Rafi sir, and all the participants of 11th and 12th faculty induction program. Very good evening to all. In fact, last 1.5 hours, we were discussing on different topics, but I feel it's a privilege for me to share some of my thoughts as a valediction for this particular program. As you know that, as Rafi sir also mentioned, we are moving in a time where the entire country is looking towards the quality implementation of NEP 2020. So we are fortunate enough to have a policy, as I was mentioning. It's a visionary policy looking towards almost 25 years ahead. And we are all the stakeholders. Through us, it need to be implemented. There are lots of structural reforms happening. And let us take a call that yes, all of us are going to contribute the best to the nation development and nation building through whatever way we are able to, because we know it's not so easy to be a teacher, especially in higher education. There are lots of challenges. We talk about our job security, job satisfaction, but we know that that are all gone. Earlier, we used to say a doctor job is very tough because a doctor need to update each and every time, upgrade every now and then. But now I feel doctors are a little more relaxed, but the teachers cannot get relaxed. We need to update and upgrade ourselves because every day we are facing challenges, we are facing concerns, and the knowledge is getting refined every now and then. That is one. And I used to remember one of my senior professors say, a doctor can kill one at a time, whereas a teacher can kill 35 at a time. So we are more powerful than a teacher. And we know that we cannot go back and say that we are all the gurus or we know everything. I don't think we can take a stand like that. because whatever we are using now to prepare and present before the students, even our students are in a position to get the same material. They have real exposure and experiences. So I feel our role is to function as a facilitator, and even we can learn a lot from our students. So that's why even UGC also suggested the blended learning mode, learner-centric approach, and even NEP focuses on, let us focus more on how to make our students to learn how to learn, which goes with the Chinese proverb, right? If you see a person who is hungry, rather giving him the fish to overcome the hunger, better to teach him how to fish, so that next time also he'll be able to manage. So we need to focus on, and we need to contribute on, in terms of refining our curriculum, in terms of refining the teaching learning methods. So I could see that there was a lot of expert panels whom you were able to interact with. And let us decide that every day is something new for me. Every day is new, and I'm going to achieve something new to my students. This group, because now there are around 40 people in the group, and please make use of this collective energy. You might have got a group, maybe a social media group, maybe a WhatsApp group. Use it, share your experiences, share your success stories, and create a learning ecosystem. This 40 can create a learning ecosystem. I could understand this would be a cross-section of the country. So each one of you will be able to share your thoughts and benefit each other. And we have to go multidisciplinary. We know that in order to achieve the decided outcomes or graduate attributes, we need to be more multidisciplinary. Not only in teaching, even we have to go for multidisciplinary research. So I could understand all of you are experts in your subject area. So your expertise and experience should support each other to come up with better multidisciplinary research projects, which can benefit even our students, our community, and the entire country. And let us work together to have a global outlook. So, and we have to thank especially the UGC, HRDC earlier, and now the Malavya Mission for Teacher Training Center, and decide that whatever way, because you are all subject matter experts, so whatever way possible, support these kind of system of and creating the mentorship. You know that there is a mentoring scheme, but you decide that at least one teacher you are going to mentor for the next year. So handhold each other so that the entire country will have a uniform quality education through which we can achieve towards SDG 4 and what NEP talks about, India becomes a knowledge superpower. So I wish you all the best, and let me thank the director and coordinator giving me an opportunity. Thank you, and wish you all the best.
Thank you, sir, for your keynote address and the lecture delivered by you. I would now request our respected Honorable Director, Professor Satish Patil, sir, to deliver a presidential remark to this valedictory function.
Good evening, everybody. Respected Chief Guest of this valedictory function, Professor Biju from the Central University of Tamil Nadu, Department of Education. The course coordinator, my colleague, Dr. Rafe, and all the fellow participants. We all know that this faculty induction program, which was started from 23rd of January, and now it is being concluded today on 27th of February. So throughout these 30 sessions, there were 54 resource persons who were invited. not only from this jurisdiction of this university, but across the state and even from the other states. All the resource persons were invited to interact with the participants. In fact, this program, faculty induction program, was inaugurated by my colleague, Mrs. Aparna Ashtaputre, from the psychology department. And now it has been ended with the Professor Biju, the concluding session. And if you see that all the aspects of education, including the NEP, which has been covered and had a in-depth brainstorming, that how to pass on the knowledge to the students and how to we should get upgraded. And you know that this faculty induction program, which has particularly been delved into the intricacies of the not only by the brainstorming, but also how to write a research proposal, research report writing, the data management, and even the information presentations, which offers valuable insights for the educators. And you know that as the schedule unfolds, it covered a diverse array of subjects, from the descriptive statistics and disaster management to the teaching in the global scenario, and understanding the sexual harassment theories also. The inclusion of practical sessions, such as the introduction to the MOOCs and SWAM on the NPTEL online courses, which particularly underscored the program's commitment to the to equipping the faculty with the competency teaching methodologies. And these concluding sessions, which touched upon the critical aspects of the research, education, policy, and even the emerging trends in literature, provided participants with a holistic understanding of the their role in academia. So the program, which particularly served as a dynamic platform for the faculty members to enhance their knowledge, engage in the interdisciplinary discussions, and foster the collaborative spirits that transcends the disciplinary boundaries. Overall, the meticulously curated schedule, which promised in the enriching and enlightening the experience of the educators seeking to stay abreast of the latest developments in the respective fields and contribute meaningfully to the dynamic community. So throughout this online induction program, the course coordinator has tried to cover each and every aspect what he was thinking for. And as you know that today, lastly, the program culminates in a thought-provoking session which has been conducted by Dr. Biju from the Central University of Tamil Nadu, and explored the world of open education resources and their role in creating, sharing, and using the knowledge. The comprehensive and meticulously curated schedule, which ensured that the online faculty induction program, which goes beyond the conventional, providing a participants with a holistic understanding of the contemporary issues, innovative teaching methodologies, and evolving the landscape for the higher education. I really thank to all the participants for this patient hearing and involving themselves in every discussions and participating in every interactions in a positive way, to see that the experiences of the resource persons and experts have been properly shared. And you know that when we are talking about the successful participation in any of the course, that all the way depends upon how you participate, because your active participation only will succeed the courses. I believe that you all participants have interacted with every resource person to upgrade the knowledge and see that if you could be able to bring the different colors into education, definitely that will help. If we pass on to the students to shape up their career and see that they can shoulder the social responsibilities, the nation's responsibilities, and they can apply themselves into the global scenario. I think with this, I thank to the chief guest of this valedictory function, that is a concluding session, Dr. Biju Raj, for giving his valuable time. I also thank to the course coordinator for taking such a painful efforts, because arranging a resource persons in a timelines is a very difficult task. I think I must also thank to the course coordinator, and lastly you all participants. Your active participation has completed the successful course, and I believe that such kind of brainstorming will certainly build our confidence to see that how we can be able to shape up the curriculum which will be more beneficial to the students in the years to come, particularly on the background of the robust implementation of the national education policy which has been expected into the education systems. Thank you very much. I also thank my non-teaching, that is a supporting staff of my MMTTC center of this Dr. Babasaheb Ambedkar Marathwada University for untired support to all the resource persons as well as participants as and when they require their support. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir. Indeed, your valuable support and true leadership has been always there for us for success of any program. This year, the UGC Malviya Mission Teachers Training Center has successfully completed all the 4 allotted faculty induction program. Also, we have successfully we have conducted 4 NEPs sensitization and orientation course. So it is my request to each and every participant to enroll for the NEP sensitization, orientation and sensitization program. There is no registration fees. No leave is required. A half-day course is there, 8 working days course is there. So on behalf of our respected director, I would request each and every participant in this faculty induction program to get enrolled for that NEP sensitization and orientation course. There are 2 courses in the month of March. You can opt for anyone. You can go to UGC Malviya Mission Teachers Training portal. On that, you can register yourself. After registering, you can change the password, and after changing the password, you can enroll. You can select the center, Dr. Babasaheb Ambedkar Marathwada University, Chhatrapati Sambhajinagar, and after that, you can enroll for March courses. So it is my request that Pan-India resource person are being invited by our respected director. So all of you can gain something from that new education policy 8 modules. So I would request all the participants to get enrolled for that NEP sensitization and orientation course. So with the permission of our respected director, I now declare this valedictory function is over. And before ending the function, I would request all the persons who have joined the meeting to stand up for national anthem.
जनगण मन अधिनायक जय हे भारत भाग्य विधाता पंजाब सिंध गुजरात मराठा द्राविड उत्कल बंगा विंध्य हिमाचल यमुना गंगा उच्चल जलधि तरंगा तव शुभ नामे जागे तव शुभ आशीष मांगे गाहे तव जय गाथा जन गण मंगलदायक जय हे भारत भाग्य विधाता जय हे जय हे जय जय हे
Thank you. You can end the cloud